Hey everybody, Questwise here, and today I want to talk about a game. Not so much a game as it is a sort of an expansion to a game or a setting for a new game. For a game, you may have seen my review of this Midgard Heroes Handbook for D&D 5th Edition. This is put out by Kobold Press. I will put a link down below if you haven't seen this review. But today, what I want to talk about is this. I want to talk about the Midgard Worldbook by Kobold Press as well too. This is sort of the world setting for this supplement. This supplement is specifically for D&D 5th edition. They do have one that is specifically to Pathfinder, and this includes, you'll see in the review if you go back and watch this one, this includes new races, it includes new classes, it includes a bunch of new sort of expansions to classes, new magic items, all sorts of great stuff. And this expands upon the whole thing and makes a whole new campaign setting. So think like Forgotten Realms, think Greyhawk, think Dragonlance. This is Midgard. This is a game, this is a setting that's been around for a long time, since I want to say maybe D&D 3rd edition. I'm pretty sure it goes back that far. Can't be for certain, but I know it's got a quite long history. In fact, in the introduction of this book, it talks about how the game, the setting itself has evolved and it's changed. So if you have any previous iterations of the Midgard setting, this sort of advances the timeline, as it were, and so makes some very great changes to this thing. So what is this book? This book is massive. If you can't see, this book, it weighs in, let me see where my notes are here. This book weighs in at 461 pages and comes at a retail price of $50, which is phenomenal. So, think of any of the D&D books that are out there right now are generally at $50 is sort of that sort of like benchmark price that's kind of spread across all the books. This book gives you a couple hundred more pages than most of those others, and does so phenomenally. What's unique about this is that this book is very flexible in that it's a background setting guide for not only D&D 5th edition but also for Pathfinder role-playing game as well too. For the most of this, it is system neutral for the most part of this book. In the back, there are two different appendices. One is for D&D 5th edition, and one is for Pathfinder, and that simply gives you the relevant stats for those particular settings and whatnot. Midgard is a setting that is very much based upon the mythologies that we all know, that we've all learned as fantasy fans and as gamers, right? We're talking about like Norse mythology and Egyptian mythology and that kind of stuff. But gives it a very unique twist to this particular setting. There are some very unique, there's 7 different ways in which this sort of stands out from all other sort of game worlds out there. Notably that the world of Midgard is flat. Yeah, so flat earthers, there you go. Here's your game for you. But it has some very unique twists. It has almost like a Discworld sort of quality, not in the humor of it, but in the sort of aspect of some of the mythologies and stuff behind it as well too. The layout of this book is amazing. The pages are sort of a parchment-like. They're not glossy. They're sort of a like parchment-like feel. It's full color throughout the entire book. The artwork is amazing. Wolfgang Bauer and Richard Green have done an amazing job with this. I've never been disappointed with anything that Wolfgang Bauer has ever put out. I think that he is a great mind for game design and has some very unique and amazing ideas, and as well as sort of blending in things that we're all very familiar with. So you're going to see gods like Odin and Thor and Ra and Osiris and stuff like that, all encapsulated in here, but done with a very unique twist to fit the Midgard theme as well too. This book covers a massive amount of detail. All sorts of different lands, kingdoms, peoples, gods, magic, some very unique magic and stuff in here as well too. While it references a lot of the magic in this, you will need this book, or at least a Pathfinder one, in order to unlock those types of magic. Those are all in here. Things like rune magic and ring magic. Those are all in sort of the player's guides for that kind of stuff. This is just a world setting. So, like I said, a majority of this is just system neutral backgrounds on different kingdoms and histories and peoples and whatnot. And does reference this book as well too, the player's handbook as well too, into where to find things like certain types of magic and ley lines and shadow fae and all that kind of stuff as well too. If you're a fan of D&D 5th edition or Pathfinder, and you just want a new world setting, if you're tired of Forgotten Realms, or if you want to expand from the Forgotten Realms, through like a Planescape or a Sigil type of a thing and go into other worlds, Midgard is a fully fleshed out game, ready to go, and is definitely a valuable addition to have on your game shelf. Highly recommend both the World Book and the Hero's Handbook as well too. It gives you a bunch of new races, things like Minotaurs, Centaurs, Kobolds, of course, because it's Kobold Press. But some very, very impressive, cool new things to play. Bear folk. I love the idea of rune magic. Rune magic is interesting because that it can be added. Any spellcaster can learn learn runes, and each rune has its own sort of aspects and powers behind them. So anybody with a background in spell casting can learn the different runes and use them. So clerics or warlocks or wizards or whatever it happens to be, rune magic is very, very cool addition to any sort of magic playing character class as well too. But just wanted to give you a brief overview of the Midgard Worldbook. It does come with a massive map, which I don't have with me right now. It comes in the back of this book. It comes with a massive map of Midgard itself. And if you're a world building nerd and you just love that kind of stuff, of background fluff and history on different nations and peoples and stuff, this is the book for you. So, Midgard Worldbook by Wolfgang Bauer and Richard Green, published by Kobold Press. Again, you can't go wrong with the Kobold Press stuff, man. It is utterly phenomenal, and they have a ton of stuff out there as well too, even on just things like game design. And adventure writing and stuff as well too. So go check them out. I'll put a link to their website down below. Until next time, I'm Questwise, and I am out.